What is up, internet? How are you people? Welcome back to Diet Revolution. Today's video, I want to talk about a personal experience of mine. Starting off as a DDR player, switching over to In the Groove 2, and back to DDR and what DDR has to offer today. The number one thing I want to talk about in this video is something I wasn't expecting I'd ever be talking about. Let's get into it. Previously, I recorded like a 40-minute version of this video that's way too long, so I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. When I started playing DDR in the arcade and finally got to heavy mode, which is today's ESP expert, that was in the early to mid 2000s. Had a lot of experience playing DDR on the PlayStation controller, and I loved playing it like that, but I wanted to lose weight. I was an overweight young teen. I made the transition to pad play. There were DDR machines everywhere, even places that shouldn't even have a DDR machine. If anyone remembers the Swap Shop flea market in Florida, there was a second floor that had one or two DDR machines. It was absolutely amazing. It was easily accessible. That helped me lose weight very efficiently back in the day. But there was one thing that always annoyed me about DDR. Now, I could be totally off. I'm just giving you my numbers, my experience. I would say out of 10 songs I would play that I knew, 6 of them had weird double stepping going on. Now there's some songs that I enjoy playing them even with the double steps. Songs like Mobo Maga, Hysteria, End of Century, or is it End of the Century? There's a lot of songs that I enjoyed playing. Songs that I do not enjoy playing, I know I'm going to probably get a lot of hate for this, is Healing Vision Angelic Mix. I cannot stand the chart. The song is freaking awesome, but the chart is so bad. People tell me, oh, you gotta do the spins. I'm not doing spins at 190 plus BPM. No. DDR, for some reason, I don't know why, they used to make you double step on purpose. Because if you go back to some of the earliest charts, like charts that came out in the first, second, and third versions of DDR, they have perfect flow sometimes. Or maybe not perfect, but really close. And that was the one thing I did not enjoy about DDR. I would constantly pick the same songs over and over again out of fear of playing a song that would have a crossover that would lead to nothing. I hated that. DDR lacked flow for really no reason. That's when one day I entered a arcade that was connected to a mall, and they had an In the Groove 2 arcade machine. In the Groove 2 was mind-blowing for me. I'll never forget the first time me walking into this arcade and somebody just selected Destiny on In the Groove's version of Expert, which is our version of Challenge. Back then it was a level 11. Today I would assume it's a level 16, 15 or 16 on the new scale. Watching somebody do that stream, as soon as the song started, that's the beginning, my mind was completely blown. And from that second, me sitting there as a young teen in an arcade watching somebody play ITG 2, I made it like my mission that I was going to clear that song one day. I loved the way it sounded. I loved the way the arcade machine looked. I loved everything. In that moment, it was like, this is the future. I made a switch to In the Groove 2 for a lot of reasons, but just to give you guys a quick sum up. A lot of the DDR machines that were around me, personal experience here, they were damaged, the pads were bad. A lot of them were the older versions, so like DDR Max, DDR Max 2, DDR Extreme, and they just wasn't well kept up with. Later in my career, I started finding Supernova and Supernova II machines that were in a lot better condition. But at around the time I discovered ITG2, those machines weren't available. They weren't around. In the Groove 2 had better graphics, higher resolution, and the number one thing that always drawed me to In the Groove 2 was flow. You see, things like Fleet Uncut, Romeo and Juliet, for example, had a lot of double stepping, or some people that play Healing Vision Angelic Mix call spins. I think I did the spins on Romeo or Juliet once or twice in my life because the BPM is so slow, but I'd rather just do the double steps. But again, those double steps are like enjoyable. They're not really bad. I've played a lot of DDR charts that had horrible double stepping. Crossovers that lead to nothing is the biggest complaint I have on DDR. Like, there's no reason for that to happen. Hey people, this is post-production Nivik here, and something I forgot to mention in the video that I thought I should mention really quickly here is that I don't think double steps are 100% bad. I even include double steps sometimes in my own charts that I create. But the way that DDR handles them for the most part is like really annoying. I'd rather have a few double steps sprinkled out through a song than the whole freaking song to be double steps. Back to the video. I made the transition to ITG2, and I did get the itch. I did want to play DDR songs once in a while, but the arcade pads weren't worth it, and it just, like, it wasn't a good experience for me. That was until ITG2 got the R21 update. For those of you who don't know In the Groove 2 history, R21 update allowed you to bring your own music, your own songs, your own step charts on a memory card. Basically, any song in the world could be used as long as you made a step chart or you downloaded a step chart for it somewhere on the internet. This opened up the floodgates for custom songs, but you know what else it did back then? It gave us, well, I'll say me, it gave me a better experience on playing DDR music. I would play all my favorites right from my USB stick. There were some people that would walk in the arcade with multiple USB sticks, one with like marker on it, DDR. It was such a great experience. There was literally no reason to play a DDR machine anymore. The In the Groove 2 pads were better, the bar was better in my opinion. The sensitivity of all the Dedicabs I played was phenomenal. So I don't know if that was just their doing a good job or the arcades taking really good care of those machines. Every In the Groove 2 machine I played was kept up way better than any DDR machine I've ever played at the arcades. Now that could just be my location at the time. I'm not sure if every arcade's like that, but all the ITG2 machines I've played on were always in good condition. Like, very rarely would a button be broken, would a pad give out errors, and if it did, it was fixed like within hours, maybe 24 hours at max. DDR made a transition. I don't know when it happened because the last arcade machine I got to play was Supernova II. This was at the Sawgrass Mills Mall in Sunrise, Florida. They had that machine for a few years. Once all of the old DDR machines and In the Groove 2 machines went away and I had the itch to play DDR, that was the only thing available. And it was at least in good, maybe not even good, maybe great condition. Like, it was really good to play on. Up until, I don't know when the transition happened, but DDR started doing something different with their step charts. Now, not all the new step charts. I would judge it like this. You guys leave a comment below, let me know what your experience is. But it went from like a 4 out of 10 chance of getting a song with good flow to like a 8 or 9 out of 10 chance of getting a song with good flow, which is freaking huge. Okay, I'm about to say something that I never thought I would ever say in my life. DDR has now surpassed ITG in terms of flow, which is absolutely amazing, which is what actually helped me start this channel to begin with. See, when I first discovered DDR A20, that was the first arcade machine that I've seen since Supernova II. I think the last time I played on the Supernova II machine was like 2012, 2013. Could be around there, give or take a year, but it's been a long time. Before that, I've never played on a widescreen HD version of DDR with modern pads. That's never happened. Of course, when I walked into round 1 and started playing DDR, I tried to find as many classic songs as I could. Unfortunately, So Deep wasn't back, but a lot of the classics I grew up were, and that helped me get into it. I bought an eMuse card and started saving my settings, but then I started playing songs with other players and just picking songs at random. I was playing the way I remember playing ITG. There was flow now, which was weird. Like, the perfect example I could give to this, I did a Ask Reddit what's your favorite DDR song available in the A series, and someone left the comment Silly Love. There's no words for me to describe how grateful I am that this person recommended Silly Love, because till today, since that chart was recommended to me, that is probably my favorite modern DDR song and chart. It is so freaking good with flow. It has streams or bursts, whatever you want to call them. The only way I could have played a chart like that back in the day was if it was Max 300, Max Unlimited, The Legend of Max. But those are like really hard. You can't really breathe when you're done with them. Well, at least me, being almost 300 pounds playing those. Now, not so much, but I'm talking about back in the day. Silly Love, being a 14, is like, in my opinion, the perfect amount of challenging and fun. Like, I'm not having a heart attack while playing it. My heart rate is not shooting up. But if I don't pay attention, if I try to slack off or whatever, I'm gonna drop my combo. I'm gonna get a bunch of goods or greats. Of course, In the Groove only had 2 official releases. You can say, well, it was bound to happen because DDR has so many songs. Eventually, as the series grown, it would overtake In the Groove 2 that was stopped in its tracks. But this is Konami we're talking about here. Konami is very stubborn on certain things, and I don't know why. Like, they choose to do these weird things. Like, when I first played DDR World, like when the update first came out, there were so many flaws with the UI. There were so many weird issues. And then a lot of the step charts, I'm talking about ESP and CSP, had random empty sections. Like, there's music going on. There's things I could definitely step to. Like, I would probably even go step to them, waiting for the rest of the arrows to appear. Why? Why is that a thing? There's definitely still some charts that have a ton of unnecessary double stepping, but at least now it's a once in a while occurrence rather than more often than not occurrence. I hope I'm making sense here. I'm honestly, like, pleasantly surprised that we've come this far with DDR and that we actually get to play songs the way I believe we always should have been able to play them. In the Groove 2 spoiled me, especially with mines, hands, things like that. But if DDR is willing to make step charts like this from now on, I think they're doing the community as a whole a really good deed. Where does that lead us to today? Well, I guess you guys can call me a hypocrite if you want, but I currently have a setup in my garage. A bunch of people kept mentioning the L-Tech to me when I created this YouTube channel. I never had like a professional metal dance pad for home, so I purchased that, and most of my time has been on that because I'm trying to lose weight here. That's the whole goal, that's the whole reason for this channel, was to progress my weight loss with DDR. I guess you could say I'm still in ITG land. I still play a lot of songs with mines, hands. You guys call them bracketing. You guys like to cheat hands a lot. I definitely play Stepmania ITG more than I play DDR now. But like the first year of this channel was all DDR in the arcade, Stepmaniacs, a little bit pump it up here and there. I have to say the truth. My experience with DDR has been phenomenal, and I've been trying to get back to the arcade. It's just that funds, family, work. It's hard for me to justify getting in the car, putting gas, driving a half hour away to the arcade, spend money on a game card, wait in line for my turn, and then come all the way back home, then take a shower. It's like a lot of time, a lot of energy invested to play a session at the arcade. I used to do it a lot, but because I have it so easy now, I literally just open my garage door, open my laptop, and I'm playing DDR. hopefully I will be able to have another arcade session available for you people. I want to see like how much I've improved and playing the arcade for sure soon. So stay tuned for that. Thank you people for watching. Hope you enjoyed me blabbering on for like 15-20 minutes. Sorry if this is not the kind of content you signed up for, but I like talking with you people. I love talking about Dance Dance Revolution, In the Groove, 4-panel dance games. It's been my jam for over 20 years. Thank you people for watching. I am Nivik and you are a blessing. See you guys next time.